morning. Welcome to another episode of Papa's Workshop. These are for Adam, Brady, Luke, and Brenna. Today's thing is going to be talking about drilling holes. But first, we got to check in with my assistant. There's my assistant. This is Molly, and she loves her treats. That's part of her assisting contract, is that she gets her treats pretty much every time we come down here. Yeah, I know. So let's get to work, girl. Bits look like there's a big one. You can see it has a screw drive to help pull it into the wood, and then it has these spurs that slice the wood, and then it's got this edge right in here. I don't know if you can see that. That actually cuts the bottom of the hole. And these drill bits come in every kind of size. They usually have a number on them, and that represents the number of 16ths. This one is a 15, so it's 15/16. And the popular sizes go down to, I think this is about as small as they come, and that is a 4. And so what's 4/16? That'd be 1/4 of an inch. This one is a 1 inch, so it's got a 16 on it. And they come in sets as well. Here's a set, and you've got all the way down to the small ones, all the way up to the big ones. Here's another set that's not quite in as good a shape. But again, it has all the sizes in there. But anyway, so this is how you run this. You usually want it to be a little bit lower so you can lean into it. But as you turn, that screw goes into the wood and helps drive it in. That's it right there. It's just beginning to slice wood. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but it's very efficient. It's very quiet, and as long as the bit is sharp, it'll go through about anything. So there's the hole, and there's where the screw came through, and then you lose your pulling power once that breaks through, but you can flip it over and start on the other side and get a clean hole. But it does make a pretty nice, pretty clean hole. And these usually have this little ratchet right here that allows you to see, it goes, you can hear the click. So it's not turning the bit, it's only turning the bit when I go this way. So you can do it in a corner, although that's kind of hard. You can go the other way, and oops, I gotta hold the bit, and it ratchets the other way, and then you put it in the middle, and then it's locked to go either way. And that's true of all of these. And they come in what they call different sweeps. You got this one, you got the distance from here to here is the sweep, right? It's the circle that you're doing with that is the sweep. So here's one that's a little bit narrower, see? And they come in longer and shorter sweeps. This one, you've got more leverage to force the bit. This one, you don't have as much leverage to do it. So you can do it in a smaller space, but it's going to be on a big bit, it's going to be tougher because you don't have the leverage to turn that with. And here's one that's made to go against the wall. All right, so you're up against the wall, you can turn this way and it turns the bit. And this doesn't have the ratcheting mechanism on it, but it does the same thing otherwise. You can get it. That one I don't use too much. So, but since that these kinds of bits only go down to about that size, about the 1/4 inch, So what do you do when you need to go smaller? Well, they have these kinds of little egg beater drills, and they usually have in their handle they have these little kinds of bits right here. I don't know if you can see and they come in different sizes. So they come down, you know, pretty small. So that would go in the jaws, just like the other, and then you would just go right through it. But again, that's for smaller holes. It's not going to work on those. You can't put this kind of a bit in there. Yeah, you might be able to. No, that's got a 3 jaws, so these don't fit in that. And they come in different sizes. Here's one that's a little bit bigger, and again, it's got a compartment in it for the bits. So basically, if it's got a round, see, these are just round bits when they fit in the jaws, and the ones for the braces have this big square tapered piece on the end of it, and it got other attachments that or other kinds of drills. This is a Forstner style drill bit, but it's made to go in one of those braces. Here's an adjustable one. You loosen that screw and you can move that in or out. And it says it goes up to about 1 1/8 inches, looks like. And then you can get, this comes with screwdriver bits with that hex or that square on the end of it. Here's a chamfering tool. Here's actually an old drill stop. You just put this, we get one that fits through here. And now you can only go down so far, and it's going to stop. So if you're concerned about going all the way, you don't want to go all the way through something, then you can use that stop. There are a couple of other styles. Here's another one where all you do, this is made for the smaller round bits, not this kind. And you just push down with the handle and it turns the bit. That doesn't really work so well, but and on that same kind of a thing was this Yankee screwdriver. These are pretty popular, and again, it has those smaller bits. It comes in a set. You got all these different sizes of the bits. This particular one has got they came in different sizes, and this one has an adapter to put these smaller bits into this bigger screwdriver or drill driver. So you just put it in there like that, and then you can just drill right down. And it has a ratchet mechanism on it, so this way makes it turn, and it doesn't turn coming back. You go the other way and it turns the other way, turns the right way, and then you put it in the center and it locks it. It won't turn at all. And these are really more known for their screwdriver bits that fit into there. So it's a Yankee screwdriver, I think is what they, Miller's Falls. Oh, this is a different brand, but so these, if you've got screws to put in, they can go pretty fast because you don't have to do this all the time. But they do have the smaller screwdriver or drill bits. So that about does it for the hand version, but now, okay, power drilling, probably the most popular right now is the old battery pack. It's a screwdriver and a drill. This has got an adapter in it so that you can use these 1/4-inch bits. Clutch here. But normally it takes just a regular drill bit. So you would use a bit like this. And away you go. Notice that that's got the spurs and the point kind of similar to the hand drill ones, except it doesn't have the threaded insert because it doesn't need that help pushing it down. This can go faster and turn it. So these are pretty much indispensable these days. This is a similar version. This is a hammer drill. You know, it's a shorter, and it doesn't have the check. This one has. This is made strictly for these 1/4-inch square or 1/4-inch hex bits, and so that fits in there that way. But also you can put, you know, your screwdriver bits in there. So that's really what it's made for, is driving screws, because it's a hammer. It says it's a hammer drill, but it's a hammer screwdriver, right? But today you can get any kind of the bits, even this size come with the hex, or the 1/4-inch hex. And this again is similar to the tips on the hand drill. You got a point, but this doesn't really have the spurs. Some of them do, but these particular bits don't. And they come in all different sizes again. And then of course, kind of going along with those bits, you can get screwdrivers that have use the same bits. So it's sort of a system. So this fits in there, and you got the whole. This has got the ratcheting on it, just like the other one did. It'll turn one way, but not the other. So you can spend a lot of different options on that. For the chuck style, you know, most of the drills have a round end, so that they don't work in this. It works in this drill and the drill press, which we'll show in a minute. And then you've got here's the Foster bits. These make a flat bottomed hole. This one's got a sawtooth on it, but if you can see it, it's the same kind of idea that was on the hand bits. It's got a spur. In this case, it's got little saw teeth for the spurs, a point to help keep it centered, and then a blade that shaves the bottom of the hole. So these make nice flat bottom holes, and that usually comes in the bigger sizes. They don't get down too much below 1/2 inch. I think you probably can get some, but for the most part, these are for bigger flat bottom holes. And you can get these spade bits that are not made to go in the drill driver, but in the clutch. And then you've also got a hole saws. It's just a drill bit in the center to keep it centered, and then it's just got a steel tube with teeth in it, and you can get different sizes. This makes a rough hole. It's more for construction rather than furniture making, but it is something that fits in the ones with the chuck and the drill press mostly. So I think that about does it. Let's take a quick look at the drill press. Okay, so here's my drill press. The drill press uses what they called a keyed chuck. So you've got to have this little key, and you put it in there to loosen the bit. And that corded hand drill I didn't show before. So this is you got to plug this in, but it also has the key chuck, and it's got the key on the cord, so that grips really really tight. The other one was what they call the keyless chuck, and it's just friction of you holding the outside of it. Anyway, you control the these are the stops, up and down, and then you lower it. This one has a 6-inch travel. You got a light, and then up here you've got it's belt driven, and you change the speeds by changing which pulley it's on. There's a chart on the inside, and it's just like with the router bits. The bigger the bit, the faster it's turning on the outside edge. So you have to be able to change the speed of your drill to match whatever you're doing, whether the size of the bit, the material that you're drilling. So there are different reasons for, like those hole saws. You get a pretty good size hole saw, you want to go pretty slow to do that. So that's why you have to have the speed adjustment. And there's a fence you can put on there. You can set up jigs and drill a lot of holes, repetitive. So that's really nice for that kind of stuff. And it makes it, they're straight up and down. The table does angle this way and this way, in a setup, but it's always going to be consistent. Whereas with the handheld electric drill, you could be crooked at any angle depending on how good your eye is. So anyway, that's about it for drilling holes. Here we are approaching the middle of June. It's summer's in full swing, out of school, soccer practice going, and so hopefully we'll be able to see you guys soon. In the meantime, happy tooling.